Good morning. Here we are again for the second training session. Yesterday, we've learned the basics about the Web of Science, what it is, how to start doing searches per keywords. And today, we're going a little bit further because it's complicated to do a good search, so I want to save it. But to be able to save it or export whatever number of documents, records, I have to create a personal account. So here is the program of this session today. We're going to see why it is so important to create an account. There are several advantages, and we're going to practice some of them today. Because if you want to save a search or create an alert, you will need to have this account set up to be able to save anything. There are also some exportation options that you will only have active if you are working with your personal account. Then we'll do two different things. It's about analyzing. You don't need a personal account for that, but it's something that I have also included in this session because I think it's important. Before we start analyzing a list of publication, and you will see getting more information than what we are seeing in single documents. It's really an helicopter view of what is being done, for example, in a research field. You will need first to understand the indexation fields. So before analyzing, we're going to have a theory session part about how things are indexed in the Web of Science. So we take then advantage of analyzing those publications and go beyond. And at the end, we will come back to some of the options that we have available when we have an account, create a citation report, and above all, create an alert. Citation alert. This is also an option that you have that you can link to your personal account. Let's start with creating a personal account on the Web of Science. It's completely different with the access, okay? Those are two very different things. One thing is accessing, opening the Web of Science and being able to work with it. The second thing is creating a personal account, which means that I am not an anonymous person. I have my account with my name, my email, and my password. And with this account, there are more things that I can do. I can save things. So let's have a look here at the list of the things you can do with a personal account. And we will concentrate this morning on the first half of the list. I can save my preferences. I can save my searches and create alerts. I can create marked lists. What is a marked list? It's a list of documents that is mine, and I can have up to 50 lists of documents. I can export up to 5,000 records with my account. Otherwise, I would be limited to only 500. There are some filters that only appear if I am working with my account. For example, the highly cited and hot papers filters that are on the left, I won't see them if I'm not working with my account. And very important thing that I will repeat several times this week, it's when I have an account, whether it's with the Web of Science, with EndNote Online, Publons, it's the same account. It's a shared account between all those platforms. So I have to really remember this, because if I'm changing, for example, my password in one of those platforms, it means that my password is changed for every other platform that we see here on the list. It's one account giving me access to the other pages, because all of these tools that we see here belong to the same company, Clarivate. And the last advantage that is especially this year a good one, because we are in vast majority this year working outside of the university, outside of the institution, usually in our homes. When you have this personal account, You no longer need to identify yourself through the proxy of your university or use a VPN. You just go to the login page, you put your email, you put your password, and you are in the Web of Science with your account. You have a remote access active for 6 months from the moment you create this account within your institution or through the VPN or the proxy if your institution has some of those options. So really a nice advantage that we tend to forget, but this year is more important than ever because we are working outside of the university. Now let's see how I am going to create that account. This is an exercise that I cannot do because I have already created mine, but I'm providing some guidance here. At the top of your Web of Science page, if you are seeing sign in instead of your name, it means that you are not working with your account. If you have some doubts, maybe I have an account with one of those platforms, let me try. In this case, just try doing the sign in with your email and resetting the password. That might work. If you're sure you have no account, you have to create it, then you go directly to register. And from that moment, you have the first step is to introduce your email address twice. You're going to receive an email and a link. That's just to make sure it's your email. And from that moment, when you click on the link that you're going to receive, you arrive to a template, a formula that you have to fill in with your personal information. It's not complicated. Let's say the issue that I'm observing when I'm doing this exercise on site is 80% of the time related to the password, the creation of the password, because there are some rules that we have to fulfill to have a good password. We see here the rules, and usually this is where we have difficulties. And among those rules, the one that um, is giving some headache to people is the one related to symbol. It has to be one of the symbols that we see here, otherwise it's not going to work. So now that we have seen it, let's have a look at my account so you get an idea of how it looks like. You see here, I am working with my account. It's my name. It's not sign in. And we can see the configuration here. I'm going to settings, and there are 3 different uh, sections of this account. So here I have created with an email that is not my email, just don't use that one. I needed to create that account to be able to work like you with the Faceit access, okay? It's not my email. I have another account, a Clarivate account with my Clarivate email, but to be able to do exactly the same thing as you, entering in Faceit, because I'm not belonging to any university, I need to create a new one. So you see here, this is the template that you have to fulfill, and here the password, the rules for the password are explained. When you have your account, anytime you can change the email or the password, okay? Some people are going from one institution to the other. That's not a problem. You can change to a new email, okay? I have the option here to write a new email, to update my account. Another section is the starting application. That's among my preferences in this case. You see here all the databases that you have access to through the Faceit subscription. And what I prefer in my case is to always start with the core collection because 90% of the time I am working with the core collection. So when I log in into the Web of Science through Faceit, I want to arrive directly into the core collection. So I have selected this. Otherwise, I would arrive to all databases. And sometimes when I'm doing some exercises, that creates confusion because it's different. The 2 accesses are different. So to make sure that I'm always starting with the core collection, I have selected this page. And we are arriving to the language now. as I said yesterday, we have the interface of the Web of Science in different languages. Usually when I'm doing a training for FICIT, it's in Spanish. So this is why with this account, I have chosen Spanish, but with my Clarivate account, I'm working in English. So you have here the list of languages available in terms of interface. And just to remind you that why do we have those languages? Because we have content coming from different continents. And especially for those ones, we have citation indexes coming from collaborations with other countries. And every time we add a new citation index, we also add the interface in this language. Portuguese and Spanish arrived as languages in the interface when we added the database called Cielo, which is coming from Latin America. Before it was only in English. And that's the same story for the other ones. The latest one, the most recent, is the Arabic Citation Index that was added a few months ago with a collaboration with the Egyptian knowledge base or knowledge bank, I guess. And from the moment we added the index that they sponsored, that they requested, we also added the language. So we are seeing here the preferences. There are a little bit more that we're going to see along this training. And now for the remote access. So I was saying, I'm going back to my presentation. It's here at the bottom. I was saying that when you create your account, you have remote access for 6 months. In this case, I'm putting here the direct links of 3 of the databases you have access to: Web of Science, Journal Citation Report, and Essential Science Indicators. Those are the landing page for those databases through FICIT, and you can use any of those links with your account to log in directly instead of going to the FICIT page or instead of going to your library page, which is another option. There are several options. So you can bookmark those pages if you want to. Okay, so now we've seen everything about the creation of the personal account. Now let's have a look of the additional features that we have that we can use with those accounts. The first ones, saving my searches and creating alerts. Let's do that through some exercise. I am in a landing page. We've done some search yesterday, and we're going to use those searches, by the way. So yesterday, in the end, we've done one combining 3 words. That is that one that we've done yesterday. 3 phrases, by the way, because they are in quotation marks. Let's do this one first. We had more than 200,000 results. We have, okay, 197, okay, results with this combination of words. We're going to improve it today a bit more and obtain more results. Let me go back. We're going to use some truncations that we didn't use yesterday. For example, so yesterday, yes, we had used here energy. I have decided perhaps at some point in some publication, it's the plural, energies. And because I am in quotation marks, between quotation marks, it's not going to work. So I am going to put that asterisk, that is going to give me the opportunity to have also the plural of the word. In this case, 3 letters. I'm going to do the same with solar cells and photovoltaic cells. In this case, I'm going to use another truncation. I'm going to use the dollar. Let me find it here, the dollar. What is the dollar? The dollar is replacing 0 or 1 letter. It's more precise in this case because the plural is going to be an S or singular nothing, 0, 1. So this is what the dollar is going to substitute. 0 letter, singular, or one letter, I guess it's going to be the plural. I don't know any other word with an odd letter that would fit into this expression. So I am improving this search. Could keep doing more complicated things, but today that's the only step that I wanted to improve. And we have in this case, yes, more than 200,000 results. Now let's imagine that this is the search that I want to save, and later on I'm going to improve it, I know, but so far that's okay. I don't want to type it every time I'm logging into WebEx, so I want to save it and run it again anytime. How do I do it? The button is here on the left, create an alert. That button allows me to do two things, saving a search and create an alert at the same time if I want to. Let's go here, create an alert. I am going to give it a name, solar energy, okay? And I have a small button here that allows me to choose. Do you want only to save a search, or do you want to save a search and create an alert? I want both, so I leave it clicked and I create the alert. Okay, this is done. Name, solar energy, frequency. We're going to have a look at this, the email, and I could go to manage alerts to check. If I forget and I close this, no problem. This is here, searches and alerts. I'm going to see here everything I have saved so far. This is not, I don't know what's happening today. I am landing into things that are not mine. Let me try again. That's not my search at all. That's not my page. What is happening? Let me refresh this. No, that's not mine. This is mine. Okay, I don't know what to do because this is not my page. Let me run the search again, just in case. Ay, ay, ay. And this is the first time something like this happens to me. Okay, finally, this is mine. Okay, these are my searches and these are my alerts. The last one is here. I'm going to reorganize them. Alert name, no, alert creation, ascending, I guess. Ascending. Okay, the most recent one is solar energy, the one that I have created today. You see, I have more than one and they stay here forever if I don't delete them. Let's see how I can configure this. If I go to more information, okay, I have several things here. By the way, before more information, this is my alert name. It reminds me here what kind of search I have saved. I can rerun this search anytime. It's here. And I have this button, active, inactive. What is this? If I put it to inactive, it means that I only have a search that I will rerun anytime with the frequency I need. If I put it in active, it means that I have this search, but I have also an alert with this search that is configured on a weekly basis, but I can change. It can be daily. Usually I choose the monthly frequency. What does it mean? It means that from today onwards, in a month, automatically the Web of Science is going to run this search again and send me an email with the new results responding to this search. So it's really practical. I forget about it. I put the frequency that fits to my needs and I receive automatically an email, in this case every month, I am going to receive an email with the new results responding to this search. So not the ones that I've already seen, new ones that have been indexed in the last 30 days. So this is really practical, and I can choose any of the 3 frequencies I have here. And I have also the option to receive or not receive emails when the result is empty. For example, if I'm choosing a small frequency daily, might not have new results every day. Some people prefer receiving empty emails to make sure that the alert is still working. Others prefer not receiving. So you have here the button. You can choose whether you want or not receive those emails. And I can delete this alert anytime. It's not going to expire. It's always there. And you see that I have several ones. So this is really practical to have those searches and alerts. And by the way, yeah, I'm going to put those ones inactive. Okay, and I'm going to keep only the last one active. This is an alert, and those are only searches that I can rerun here. What does the email looks like? Let's have a look here into the presentation. We've done this. Here is an example of an email I have received. The email doesn't contain all the new records, only the 5 most relevant records. It's the algorithm again, which is determining what are the 5 most relevant records. I have the links here for those ones, and I have on the top right the link to see all the new records in the Web of Science. That's a snapshot in time to see all those new records. Okay, so whenever I'm clicking on this button, I am going to see the new ones at that time, and not if I go a month later and I click again, I'm going to see again those 141 records. So that's really a picture, uh, a precise picture in time of what were the new records in a precise day. So we've seen how to save a search, how to create an alert. We've seen the email that I'm receiving. Now there is one more option, saving a series of searches and saving this series of searches locally, okay, locally in my computer, and being able to save this file and share this file, send it to someone else. How would I do this? So let me come back here because I have saved it in the slides. We've done this, create an alert, give it a name, and we arrive to this message, alert successfully created. I have closed this page, but if I keep it open, I have something here that is called download search string to local drive. It's a little bit hidden, but this is where it is. And when I'm clicking on this option, I am going to save not one search. I'm going to save everything that I have on at that precise moment in my search history. And I'm going to save something in my in my computer local drive with a specific format that I cannot read. The only thing that I can do is upload it. Let's do this so you have an idea of how it works. I'm going back to the Web of Science. So when I'm clicking on this button, what I'm going to save, let me go back here, is what I have in my search history. And today I have done 3 searches. I have repeated this one. By the way, what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean it. And this one, just delete it. It's the same. Okay. And now I have 2. Let's say that I want to save those ones in local that I've done. That's going to be always when I save a series of searches, that's going to be always what I have here. So I have to clean before I save those. So let me go back to this one, for example, the last one, create an alert. Let me give it a name, series. What is happening here? Sometimes there are things that are beyond our control. Or test, let me put it another name. Okay, yes, there is a problem with the save thing. I don't know what this problem is, so it's not letting me do it today. I don't know what's happening. So let's do it with the slides. I'm going back here. So you see here, let me go back in presentation. When I save it successfully, I have the option then to download the search string to local drive. You can save it anywhere. This file, as long as I remember, has a extension that is .wos, .was. It's something that if you open it, you cannot read it. It's impossible. What you can do is load it again into the Web of Science or send this file to someone else so we can load it and run it into the Web of Science. Let's have a look. Where can I load this file and run it again? Oh, no, that's not the, okay, that's the one. Search and alerts. This is where we go. It's at the bottom of this page. This is here at the bottom of this page where I will be able to choose the file where I saved it and open it and run it. I can do it, and anybody who received these files, I can share it, will be able to do the same. And for example, this person then will be able to save those searches or in local again, or save those searches here in their account. So that's one of the options, to share a list of searches. There is a limit in the history. In a series, you can save up to 30 searches per history. Okay, I had 2 today. You can have up to 30. And that's all. That's the only limit. Then you can do it as often as you want. Okay, so that's the first part of it. And now we're going to another section. We've seen the alerts. Now we can also save and export lists of papers, lists of publications. We call them marked lists in the Web of Science. And we're going to do it also through some exercises. So let me go back to my list of results. Okay, for solar energy. Let me organize them by times cited. And let's say I want to save those ones into a list, the most cited. I can start selecting them manually, adding to mark list, or I can save the whole page, select page. I have 10 per page, add to mark list. Okay, I have those 10. I can go to the next page. I can do another search. It's there, it's saved, but temporary saved. Let me add 2 more, add to mark list. Okay, now I have 12. It's not yet saved completely. It's a temporary list that I have here. Now I want to really save it in my account. How do I go to this list? I can click here, view mark list, or I can click here, it's the same. Okay, I see here my mark list at the bottom. I can change my mind, by the way. For example, here I have 12 results. I have changed my mind. I no longer want this one. I no longer want this one either. And now I remain with 10. Okay. That's okay. Now I'm going to save this. I have those 10 here. I click on the button Save. I give it a name, Solar Energy. You see that I have already saved one, but I'm going to repeat the example. Okay. I can put a description. You see here I can save up to 50 marked lists also. Okay. And I guess it's saved now. It told me it was saved. So that's perfect. Let me go to Open Manage. Yes, it's saved with today's date. That's the most recent one, solar energy. Good, perfect. I have 3 now. Now let's imagine that I want to create a new list, completely different. Okay, I want to start from scratch, another topic, another search, and I want to create a new one. What I recommend as best practices in order to avoid problems is that before you start creating a new list, you have to start from scratch to put here the counter to 0. So I'm clicking on clear here. When I click on clear, I'm not clearing everything that I have saved. I'm just clearing this temporary list so I can start a new one. Otherwise, I'm going to keep adding to the list that I have here. So it depends what I want. Now it's again 0. I can create a completely different list on the same way I've done right now. So it's simple. I've put the counter to 0 and I create a new list. Now let's imagine a different scenario. I have already created a list about solar energy. I have created an alert also, and I am seeing new results that have been indexed in the Web of Science, and I want to add those new results to a list that I already have. I want to complete this list. I want to update this list. How am I going to do this? Well, in this case, I have to load my list again. So for that, I'm going to my lists, searches and alerts. This is where I am. I open manage and I'm decided what is the list that I want to load again here. That's solar energy. I click on the name and it's loaded again. Okay, it's there. Now I only have to go back, for example, to my search results. Let's imagine that's a new search that I'm having a month later. I have new results, more recent, and I do exactly the same. Let me add those 3 ones, new results, add 2 marked lists. I have 13 results and I can save them under the same name. Save. I'm going to put the same name. It's going to tell me what do you want to do exactly. It already exists. Would you like to replace it? Yes. And that's okay. And now I have a list with 13 results. That's it. I have updated my list. In terms of how many lists can I create, let's go here, and how many records can I save in this list? We have here the numbers. Whoops, that's not here. Here. We can save up to 50 lists. It's called a mark list, and within each of those lists, you can save up to 50,000 records. That's a lot. That's impressive. In total, 50 per 50,000, 2,500,000. So 2,500,000. So that's a lot of records that you can save. And I have not shown that, but when you are on those lists, you have those exportations options that are the same that we have on the search results. So we're going to have a look at those ones. Those are the same in the mark list and in the search page. Let me go back, search results. We also see those exportations. They are here at the top, export. That's a long list. I'm going to focus my attention today on the Excel exportations options. We have one here, export to Excel. The limit is 500 records, and you can export different types of data. If you want to have a maximum of information, you would export the full record. For example, if you want to have the address, the affiliations of the authors, I would recommend exporting the full record. So it depends on what type of information you need. You have those three options. There is another one, Fast 5K. It's a bit different. In this case, you can export up to 5,000 records. And this one, Fast 5K, will only work when you are with your account. Okay, that's one of those that are limited when you're working with your account. In this case, you will be able to export much more, many more records, but you will have less information, less data. So let's have a look here in my slides where I am summarizing these two things. I'm going back here. Okay, Excel, 500 records with a maximum of information, especially if you're exporting the full records. Second option, Fast 5K, up to 5,000 records, but you will have less data, less columns. So you will choose one or the other depending on the data that you need. If you need a lot of data, you will have no option, 500. If that's enough with exporting here the data 5,000, then you will be able to export uh, 5,000 records, less times, but with less also information, less columns that are filled. There is also other formats, other file formats that are below this button for exportation in other, sorry, I'm just mixing the two browsers, other file formats, depending if you're using Windows or Macintosh, HTML, BibTeX, plain text. So you would choose one of those, okay? For Windows, tab delimited, and that's usually the option that we choose, okay? So we've seen some of the options here. Today, I'm only talking about things that are Excel or like Excel. Excel, Fast 5K, and there are also other file formats. I am going back to my mark list because what we see is the same here. I can also export a mark list. Same thing here. The nice option is that here we can select, you see, we can select the fields that we're going to export. Okay, that's an additional option that we have here from a mark list. So we've seen the exportation, some of the exportation options. We're going to see more in the next few days. And we've seen also how to save lists of documents. Now we're going to go a bit further. It's not related to exporting, it's not relating to saving, it's related to analyzing a list of results. We have those two buttons here on the right side for a mark list, okay? Analyze results, create a citation report, but you have them also, if I go back to search results, okay, we have them here. Here one is not appearing, I'm going to explain why, because we need to have lower than those numbers. What are those buttons allowing me to do? Before that, we have to learn the basics about the indexation. So let's go through the theory and then we will go back to the practice, because it's important to, before we analyze, to be able to know all the fields. Let me go fast. We have seen those ones through the exercises. We are arriving to this section now. Understanding the indexation fields. So each document in the Web of Science is indexed, this is the word, in a specific manner. We see here the indexation fields. We start with the title, with the authors, we have also the identifiers, their affiliations, and so on. We're going to see them in details. This document indexed in the Web of Science is called a record. This is how we call it. I am finding this number of records. That's not the full text. That's not the PDF. That's something different. A record of a document. So let's do it first with slides, and then we'll go confirm all this with the platform. First of all, I have the title, always in English, okay? That's always the translation of the original title in English. Then I have the authors. Below the authors, I might have here a table if those authors have updated their identifier. We're going to see this information just below. Clicking on this button, we're going to see the table of the authors' identifiers. That's not something automatic. It depends on them. I'm going to explain that in one of the next sessions. The information about the journal, the abstract in English, again, very important. Then we have the keywords, keywords of the author, and keywords plus coming from the Web of Science, this algorithm creating those keywords. And then we have the author's information. Next to the name of the authors, we have a number. If I go back, let me see, you see I have a number telling me what institution they are belonging to. And this is why I see those numbers here with the address saying the author with a 1 next to his name is affiliated to this institution and so on. But it's only appearing for publications from 2008 forward. Before, we were seeing only the affiliations, but no number, okay? So this is something that we have to take into consideration. We started linking the authors with their institutions in 2008. So you might see differences with older material. And then after the affiliations of the authors, we have the funding agency. What is this? Where is this information coming from? This information is coming from the I don't find the word. When the thank you of the on the publications, the acknowledgements, I am finding the word finally, the acknowledgements of the authors in the publications. Usually they acknowledge people who have helped them, but also they acknowledge when they have received some funding. This is where they are telling where this funding is coming from in the acknowledgements. And this is what we call the funding text. And we, in the Web of Science, from 2008, we started indexing those acknowledgements. Here we copy paste exactly what is written in the document, and we transform this text into the table. Here at the top just above there is a table where we see a list of funding agencies, and sometimes there is also the grant number. If it's informed here, we will transform that. This information, whether it's the funding text or the table, even better, is searchable. You can search this table. And this is all the more important for those funding agencies because they want to know when they are funding something, they want to know the output. And there's different ways of measuring the output of a funding, of a grant. One of them is the publications and their impact. So it's important for them. Authors have to take care of the acknowledgement because this information is more and more captured by different databases. So funding agencies can analyze the output of the funds that they have distributed. And then below the funding, we have more information, the categories, the journal is belonging to, and the accession number, número de acceso, accession number. The accession number is the unique identifier of that document in the Web of Science. The DOI is a unique identifier in Internet. This is a universal identifier, whereas the accession number, called also UT, is the unique identifier in the Web of Science. You see here, accession number UT, you can search for accession number. So when you need something from the Web of Science, or when you want to inform about a list of publications, instead of doing a list very complicated with the title, the authors, the journals, and so on. So I find, for example, you send it to me, there is something I don't understand in this publication. The easiest way to identify this record in the Web of Science is the accession number. You copy paste this code here, you send it to whoever. I search this accession number or a list of accession numbers and I have a look at what you're telling me and we can see what's happening. It's the most efficient way to find a document in the Web of Science with this unique identifier in the Web of Science. And finally, we have the citations. So let's do exactly the same with a record. Let's open this one, the most recent title, authors. Let's see if they have already claimed it. Yes, we have one of the authors who have already claimed this publication in both his profiles, Web of Science and ORCID, journal. Then we have the abstract, the keywords, the affiliations of the authors. We have funding here, funding texts, the acknowledgements, and these acknowledgements are transformed in this table here, and we are starting unifying this table. If I'm putting show more details, we see how we are unifying gradually this information. This is how it was written, and this is how we unified it. I'm going below. See more data fields. This is where my accession number is hidden. That's the number, the unique identifier of this document in the Web of Science. And at the bottom, cited references. What is this? These are all the bibliographic references that are cited in this document. When I see a title in blue, it means that this document is also indexed in the Web of Science, and I have a link, I can open it. And when there is something in black, it means this document is not in the Web of Science. Everything that is blue is a link, and that's a link to this document, so I can go to the past and see this document that was cited. Okay, so we've seen how each document is indexed in the Web of Science. That is called a record. I am now going back to my search results and I'm going to analyze. Maybe I'm not going to analyze everything. Let me refine a bit this search. We are going to refine, let's see the most recent results, for example. I'm going to refine per year. Let me choose, for example, we have already publications next year. Let's start 15, yeah, 2015. oops, I'm going to choose those results, those years. I don't want all the results. I'm going to refine. And I'm going also to refine per type of document, articles, reviews. Okay. Okay, I have this number of results. And yeah, I'm going to analyze now. When I am analyzing all these results depending on different criterias that we will see on the left. So I see a visualization, and on the left, I am seeing that it's reorganized per Web of Science categories. This is not what is interesting me the most today. Let's reorganize them, analyze them per organization enhanced. That means the institutions. What am I seeing here? I am seeing the institutions that are publishing the most around solar energy. With those keywords, I am reorganizing those papers per institution. And I see the Chinese Academy of Science, the United States Department of Energy, and so on. I see in this visualization only the top 10 institutions. I can see up to top 20 institutions, so that gives me an idea, depending on the search that I have done, who is publishing the more around that topic. And below, I have the full list, okay? It's a very long list. It's not everything loaded. I have more institutions here. I can download the full list here below this button up to 100,000 lines. And for authors, sometimes it's necessary. So here is just a preview, the top institutions, but I can download this information. That provides me, I guess, um, relevant information about uh, where the research is being done and then published. And that can help me, for example, look for some collaboration, national, international. Where are the experts? Who is investigating around that, researching? I can analyze with reorganize with other criterias. For example, where are they publishing? Source titles are the journals. Where are they publishing? Is this the place where I am also publishing, or can give me some ideas of other journals where I could publish? And funding, what is the funding that they have declared and that is appearing? Who is funding research around solar energy? Again, we see China, the USA, but we see also the European Union. And if I want to see those 2,000 papers for which the authors have informed that they have received funds from the European Union, I put my mouse on this square, I click View Records, and I'm seeing those 2,000 papers. And I can, for example, reanalyze and see who has received these European fundings. And in this case, I'm going to Organization Enhance. Okay, those funds are distributed to European institutions mainly, and we see here their names. If I am interested in some of the funds European Union and I'm looking for collaborators, maybe I could have a look here at this table and seeing the papers, for example, of École Polytechnique de Lausanne, one of those. So that gives me also some information about where are the experts, who are the funders. Maybe I could initiate a collaboration with some of them. Um, now that we have done something with the analysis, And let's have a look at this last section of this training, which is the citation report. Okay, let's do something different. I am going back to the previous page. And those are the ones that had received European fundings. Amongst the ones that have received European fundings, maybe there are Spanish institutions. Let me filter per Spain here. View all options, countries, Spain. Okay. So here now I have a list of 500 papers, but around solar energy in the recent years. I have refined per article review. I have refined per papers who have received funds from the European Union and with at least one Spanish author. What I'm going to do with this list is create a citation report. Now I have the button activated. The button only works when I have less than 10,000 results. This is why it wasn't appearing before. Create a citation report. What is this? I am now going to analyze for those papers, where are the citations coming from? Who is using those papers? Who is citing those papers? How many times they are being cited? Create citation reports. Let's go there. Okay. We see here the bars, it's the publication years. We have the detail, it's normal. I have refined per publication years. We see the citations here. It's growing. It's not decreasing. It's just that the year is not ended. And we see the list here. For each of those papers, I am seeing the citations that they have received each year. It starts in 1900, the table, if I download it. And I have the total and I have the average. This table, I can download it in Excel here. Save to Excel file. You will see a table that is going to start 100 years ago, okay? It's always like this, although it was published more recently. And then you clean this list. But if you want to analyze precisely the citations of these papers, this is what you're going to do. I'm going at the top again because here there are options that I can take advantage of. So here I see for these papers 639 how many citations they have accumulated from the moment they were published. How many citations without self-citation? That's also another number. I can compare. It's acceptable, it's normal to self-cite our work because there is some continuation in our projects. But if we do not exaggerate, we see those closed numbers. So that's perfectly normal. Citing articles, that's not the same number because in an article, I can have more than one citation. So we have a little bit less. And what I can do is analyze also those papers and to see where those citations are coming from. I could go to the papers without self-citation, by the way, or I can go in 2 steps to analyze where are the citations coming from for this group of papers. And again, I'm going to analyze with any of those criteria that I have here on the left side. So what I have to remember, I have done some exercises today. I'm going back to my search results. Okay. Whatever is the search that you're doing, okay, I have done an exercise today with a topic, but it could be with an institution, it could be with an author, whatever search you're doing, you have always those 2 buttons here on the right side. Analyze results and create citation reports. So take advantage of those 2 options and use them because it provides relevant information that can help you in your strategy to publish, in your strategy to collaborate, or in analyzing who is reading you, for example, who is citing you. So you have always those two buttons here on the right side for whatever list of results. The only difference is this one. There is a limitation. It's only going to be active when I have less than 10,000 records. For more than 10,000 records, it's going to be deactivated and I'm not going to be able to use it. The last thing, it's again about citations. Let's say I am the author of this recent publication. It's already January of next year, 2021. I would like to be informed every time there is a new paper in the Web of Science who is using my paper as a bibliographic reference, which means that it's a citation. I can create a citation alert here for each of those papers. Create citation alert, and that is done. Save. And I have them here in citation alerts. I think this is the one, I guess, that I have just created. So what it means that when I receive the first citation, when this paper will receive the first citation, let me go back. It's this one, yes. I'm going to receive an email. When I receive a second citation, I'm going to receive an email. Okay, this is how it works. Every time there is new content indexed in the Web of Science using this paper as a bibliographic references, which is a citation times cited, I'm going to receive an email. This is how the citation alert is working. And what does it look like? Let me escape. I'm going to show you an example. The example is here. Okay, this is the type of email that you're going to receive. Right? In this case, it was 5 citations. So 5 citations at the same time for one of the papers. Okay, so we have done the content of today. I wanted to add one more thing today about training available in English because we're doing this week sessions in English. You have more training available in English 24/7. And where is it available? Below the help button, training portal. We have a new training portal. As you can imagine, everything is in English. It's available to everybody. What we're doing for FICITA and for other European countries to complete this information in local languages. But for English speaker, you are lucky because you have everything in English. You have tutorials, pre-recorded tutorials that you can follow, self-guided learnings. You have reference guides, PDFs that you can download. These are our LibGuide page in different languages, and you have live training. In the Word, we are different people offering live training in different languages. And if you click on live training, you are arriving to a calendar where you will see the training in the different languages that is going to be offered in the following days. And you can filter. You can filter per language or you can filter per platform. If I want to see about Web of Science, this is what I have here selected. Trainings in Polish, for example. I am applying this filter. And I see the next training sessions and I can register. Okay, so we see here the languages available for the European from the European training team, and also we have Turkish that is arriving. The only difference is for China, Japan, And Russia, in this case, they are not yet in this page. They have their main, they have their own web pages with their language. So if you're looking for something in those languages, in this case, I don't have these links for this page. We should ask the support, and they will tell you where you will find training in Russian, Japanese, or Chinese if you're looking for this type of training for yourself or for someone from your institution because this person doesn't master neither Spanish nor the English. Okay, so you have also these options in other languages. We are arriving now at the end of this second session, and now we are going to the chat. This is the moment to start writing your questions in the chat, and I'm going to have a look and answer to as many as possible.